Smiley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, November 14th. Okay, so we have the moon in Aries energy, going void, of course, at 1:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're locking into Taurus energy at 2 a.m. This is important because today is the very last day, first of all, that Saturn is going to be retrograde. We are seeing Mr. Saturn go direct here just hours before the full moon in Taurus takes place. Both events taking place on the 15th. So we're entering into the full moon window the minute that the moon enters into this Taurus energy. And let's just talk about the transition for a little minute. Aries energy to Taurus energy, we feel like we hit a brick wall. Why? Well, because there's a lot of restless, a lot of impulsivity, a lot of hurry up and get shit done with the moon in Aries energy. And when we move into Taurus energy, this is where we become present. This is where we become very aware, grounded, anchored into our physical body, very aware of our physical form, of our physical environment. The Taurus energy wants to slow down. We want to smell the roses. We want to enjoy the little creature comforts that, again, the small little things make up the greater, grander happiness, the greater, grander joy. Now, it does kind of need a little bit of time to adjust to, because it does kind of feel like we're being plucked out of going like 200 kilometers on a highway and then need to come to a standstill in order to kind of merge in with other traffic. But after that initial G-force letdown, we're definitely comfortable, a lot more comfortable at this slower pace. Now, there are 11 different aspects taking place here today. 9 of them are going to be involving the moon. And let me also just say that because today is the last day that Saturn is going to be retrograde, we're definitely going to feel slowed down even more. There's like a pumping of the brakes, if you will. So not only did we just come off of the highway going at super speeds in order to kind of, slow down and merge onto that particular slower paced highway, but now we're in a gridlock. We are literally sitting in traffic. There's nowheres to go. There's nowheres to advance to. So now we have to learn a little bit of patience, which again, none of us were essentially born with, and none of us have been able to find on Amazon. So we have a lot going on here today. The day is going to kick off with the moon in Aries energy, making an awkward interaction with Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, who is slowing down. Mind you, we are going retrograde here on the 25th, and we are in Sagittarius energy. So this is fire on fire action, but it's not the greatest of actions, which means that we could feel frustration. We could feel that road rage. We could have that verbal vomit. We could have that hurry up and get the F out of the way energy and vibe. And of course, that's not a pleasant vibe for us to be sitting in. It's not a pleasant vibe for other people to be receiving. And we could find ourselves in a verbal vomit situation where we're kind of pressurizing our speech. We're a little bit more aggressive than we really want to be. And we're coming off a little bit pushier than we need to be as well. The moon then going to get into the boxing ring, square off with Pluto. Pluto being the great transformer at the final degrees of this Capricorn energy means that the moon is at the final degrees of this Aries energy, thus why they're getting into the boxing ring and squaring off. This is going to highlight for us where it is that we're going through growing pains, because again, the moon in Aries has ripped the rear view mirror off of the car. We have no want, need, or desire to look back, while Pluto, on the other hand, needs us to look back, needs us to analyze how it is that we got here in order for us to not make the same mistakes again. We're still in cleanup mode. We're still in closure mode. And here the moon in Aries is pushing for advancement, progress, innovation, and actually pushing to initiate new path and direction, even though we still have a mess to clean up as far as the old world goes. So this is going to intensify our emotions, and they're not great emotions. We're all fired up. We have ants in our pants. We're frustrated. We want to move forward. We can't. We want to take action. We want to make moves. We're still sitting on the bench. There's a lot to process. And of course, 1:51 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the moon is going to go void, of course. We lock into that Taurus energy at 2 a.m. again Eastern Standard Time, and we sit in that energy for over an hour. Now, 3:02 a.m., we have an interesting dynamic popping off. We have Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, in this Capricorn energy now, making a very harsh interaction with Mars, the god of war, ruling over our physical energy, our drive, our passion, our desires, even our anger, who happens to be in Leo energy. So we have the masculine and the feminine energies interacting in not the nicest way. Venus, of course, has had a major change of heart, major change in her own worth, in her own values, in her own wants, needs, and desires. She's in Capricorn energy, trying to think about the long-term plan, what she has power and control over in this present moment, where love, where money, where goals are concerned, in order to ensure her long-term happiness, her long-term safety, security, and stability. Mars, on the other hand, over here sitting on the bench because he's still in an opposition with Pluto. He wants to take action. He wants to make moves. He wants to make pretty big dramatic moves being in this Leo energy. He's heart-led. He has new passions, new wants, new desires that he wants to pursue, that he wants to take action upon. But again, it's not time for him. So sitting on the bench is creating all of this restlessness, all of this frustration. Now, let me also just say this particular energy not going to feel good in our physical realm, in our emotional realm. We're definitely not on the same page here. And because we're going to just, back burner this for a second, because the next aspect that takes place is between Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, semi-squaring, creating tension and conflict, with Pluto, the great transformer, again at the final mastery degree of this Capricorn energy. These two aspects, Venus and Mars, and then Mercury and Pluto, are not going to make us feel so happy, feel so good. This is going to get us all riled up. So it's like, an excitement, but it is a nervous excitement. It is a tension, an edginess, a breaking point, especially where our emotions are concerned and where our head space is concerned. Venus is the heart space, Mercury is the head space, Mars is the action that we want to take that we can't, and Pluto is the deep change and transformation that we need to make in our psyche in order to realize where it is that we need to flip the script and actually change our perspective, our thoughts, our inner dialogue, our inner narrative into something better than our current state. And so this is a lot of worry. This is a lot of obsession over things that we're too focused on that really aren't as big of a deal as we're currently making them. This is us realizing what we don't have control over. Again, instead of focusing in on what we actually do have power and control over, we're more focused on what we don't. We are sitting in a paranoid state where we don't really trust ourselves and we sure don't trust other people. We are in this nervous energy. We are in this darkness because, again, we are in Scorpio season. This is a time for shadow work. And what better way to illuminate the work, the growth, the healing, not only that you've done, but that still needs to be done, than to sit in the funk, sit in the darkness, and let our mind and our heart space get carried away. This is not a good start to the day. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not supposed to. We do have the moon in this Taurus energy getting into the boxing ring, squaring off with Mars. So again, more frustration, more restlessness, more agitation. Why? Because Mars, again, sitting on the bench. He wants to take action. He wants to make moves, but he's not even on the freaking playing field. He is getting all riled up in all the wrong ways. And because he has ants in his pants, because he is so focused, again, on what he wants to do that he can't do, the moon in Taurus, who is trying to stay in the present moment, trying to focus on the beautiful things, trying to focus on what we have power and control over, huge conflict. Okay, the growing pain here is that we need to adopt a little bit more patience than any of us were actually born with. And because the Leo energy that Mars is sitting in is attention seeking and a little bit over dramatic, we're making a big deal over very small, minute things. We get a little bit of help, 7:14 a.m., with the moon in this Taurus energy trining beautiful interaction with Venus, the goddess of love, beauty, worth, pleasure, and money, in Capricorn energy. Reminder, Venus is also ruling over the Taurus energy that the moon is now in and will be in the rulership of this full moon in Taurus that we are now in the window of. We have a trine, which is a good energy. It's a growth energy. It's a point of ease. This is earth on earth energy, which means that we are present. We are fully anchored, fully grounded in our physical forms, very aware of our environment. We are very aware of who and what is making us feel happy and safe and secure, who and what is actually encouraging us and supporting us, and who and what is not. We, again, with Venus in this Capricorn energy, we're focused on our long-term happiness, safety, security, stability in our relationship dynamics and in our money matters. And the moon, emotionally speaking, in this Taurus energy, feels pretty good about the changes that have taken place within our heart space, within our head space, feels pretty good about the plans, the path, the strategy that we are currently trying to piece together here on what it is that we can improve, what it is that we can adjust, what it is that we can do differently to ensure our long-term happiness goals and dreams actually manifesting. Of course, just when we get a little bit of help, there's going to be a little bit of a backstep. The moon in Taurus then going to semi-square, create a little bit of tension and conflict with Jupiter, the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, blessings, who of course is retrograde, looking back, inner reflection in Gemini energy, taking a good look at the way we used to think, the way that our inner dialogue used to sound, the information, the wisdom, the knowledge that we've already gained that we're failing to integrate into this present moment. And so emotionally speaking, again, we just want to stay in this present moment. We want to focus on all the things that are going good. We want to focus on all of the things that make us feel safe and secure and happy. Jupiter, on the other hand, usually brings optimism, usually brings confidence, usually brings a better mood, a better attitude, but this is a semi-square. Jupiter is looking back, challenging our old thoughts, challenging our old perspectives, challenging our ability to take the knowledge, the wisdom from previous experiences and actually do something about it in this present moment, in the here and now. There is an element of confusion. There is an element of delusion. Again, the Gemini energy being represented by the twins, we are trying to weigh the pros and cons of every freaking thing that we are contemplating. And because that Jupiter energy magnifies, we're a lot more up in the head space than the moon in Taurus would prefer us to be, thus the disconnect between our heart and our head. The moon is going to help us out. We are going to have a positive interaction with the North Node in Aries energy. This is a beautiful interaction because it means that we're plucking ourselves out of looking too far in the past, looking too far behind us. Again, that Jupiter magnified. And although we would prefer to stay in the present moment, we take it to the furthest extreme, which means that we're thinking about our future. We're thinking about the options, the opportunities that we now have available to us, especially to grow and heal, especially to evolve and push the boundaries of what we find to be comfortable. The Taurus energy wants to stick to what is tried, tested, and true. It is a fixed earth sign. But we're starting to realize, especially under this full moon energy, especially with Saturn, again, at these final hours of being retrograde, that we've been praying for change. So why are we resisting it? It's time for us to kind of rearrange, revamp, restructure the way that we are looking at our physical lives, at our physical circumstances, and looking at change without the fear, without the hesitation, without that uncertainty. The moon is going to make a positive interaction with Mercury. So our heart space, the moon, and Mercury, our head space, they're going to be working together. Mercury being in the Sagittarius energy brings the optimism, brings the confidence, brings our ability to seek the truth, to seek a vision, a goal, a dream, to renew and refresh the hopes, the wishes, the dreams that maybe we had abandoned. So of course, we are anchored, we're in this present moment with the moon in Taurus. We are able to allow our mental plane to kind of explore and imagine the possibilities without being afraid. It's a beautiful thing. The moon in Taurus then going to semi-square, create a little bit of tension and conflict with Neptune, who of course is retrograde in his rulership in Pisces energy. This isn't going to feel good because it means that we're getting overwhelmed with the concepts of the possibilities that we just got excited about. The minute that we get overwhelmed and we realize the accountability, the responsibility that we need to boss up into in order to make the changes, in order to close the door, provide the endings, the closures needed to the old world, to the old realm, to the old reality that the old version of self has created, we get overwhelmed. What do? We shut down, we check out. We want to live in la la land. We don't want to deal with reality, which is a problem for the Taurus energy. We want to be present. We want to be aware of our physical form, aware of our physical environment. Neptune brings in the element of confusion, the element of delusion, the element of escaping reality in order to live in la la land where nothing can go wrong. Lucky for us, we end the day on a beautiful note. The moon in this Taurus energy going to sextile, beautiful interaction with Saturn. Saturn being the Lord of Karma, currently retrograde. This is his last aspect being made in a retrograde. This is a very powerful thing. We have the ability to see right now where it is that we got to boss up, where it is that we got to do better, where it is that we got to be better, where it is that we have to close the door, where it is that we have to remove, release a lot of the attachments that we have had to the past. We have to clear the space. We have to clean the slate. We have some amazing floor plans that we want to absolutely start building on this foundation that used to house this falling apart building that we need to remove, the debris. We have to clean the foundation. We have to clean the workspace in order for us to build this new vision, goal, and dream. So this is almost like us bossing up to new roles and responsibilities, bossing up to this new opportunity to build the realm and reality that not only looks good, but that feels good to our higher selves.